Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushua, Ba'asham Rukakwatash, and double honor to the elders of GMS and to all the sincere brethren that are laboring the truth like across the world, and also to all the sincere brethren and sisters that are listening to the truth. I pray this may be another edifying lesson to the flock, and whoever the Most High want to hear this message, let it be heard. And before I begin the lesson, I'd like to introduce the true name of the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, and the name means He exists, and the true name of the Son is Yahushua Mashiach, which means the Redeemer, and it's only coming to redeem His people, which is the Israelite, which would identify as the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, and also they dwell in all four corners of the world, and looks like the other nations and practice the other customs of the other nations. And that'll be it for the introductions. And the lesson of the day is Genesis 30, which basically talks about Jacob's and his how he has like his 12 sons, and also when he was working for Laban, and how he also want to get out and start his own running his own lives basically. And that's the whole chapter of Genesis 1. I mean, not Genesis 1, Genesis 30 has like a verse 1 to 43 basically. And I'm gonna begin the lessons right now. And it says, the title is like the sons of Jacob. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, and so Rachel, which was like so there was two sisters, Leah and Rachel. And Jacob's love Rachel's more, but when he works for Laban for 7 years, so Laban tricked him and give him Leah. So, and he ended up working another 7 years to get Rachel's, because it was the custom to give the eldest daughters first before the younger daughters. So Jacob ending up working 14 years in total for Laban. So the title says, and when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister. So when Rachel saw she couldn't bear any children, so basically she couldn't get pregnant, so she was not kind of jealous. She was jealous of her sister Leah, and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. So basically he was begging Jacob to give her like children, or basically, or she said, if you don't give me children, I'll die. And verse 2 said, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and Jacob basically was furious. He was like a very angry. It's like a woman keep on nagging a guy, and the guy basically kind of snapped. That's basically where Jacob was. And he said, am I in the Most High stead? And Jacob basically was telling her, am I the Most High? And so he said, like, am I the Most High? And he said, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? So basically he was like, am I the Most High, who basically kept you from having children, or who sealed your womb? So that's what Jacob was saying to her. And most likely in a anger state, like most likely he was yelling when he was telling her that. And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her. So Rachel told Jacob to basically lay down with a servant, Bilhah, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So basically she told him, so go lay down, sleep with Bilhah, that way when she has a kid, which ended up becoming a son, so that kid will be basically mine. And verse 4 says, and she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. So Rachel gave Jacob's Bilhah, her servant, to Jacob as a wife. And Jacob went into her. So basically Jacob lay down with her. Jacob slept with her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. So basically Bilhah ending up get pregnant and give Jacob a son. And Rachel said, the Most High hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice. So basically Leah was very happy. And she said like the Mosai has vindicated her and listened to her voice, because she was like crying out, and the Mosai finally listened to her, and therefore called she his name Dan. So basically the name of the son, and she ended up calling him Dan. And Bilhah's Rachel's maid conceived again, and once again Bilhah, which was Rachel's servant, she got pregnant again, and this time she let me see, what was that again? And Bilhah's Rachel maid conceive again, yeah, and bare Jacob a second son. She gave Jacob a second son again. And Rachel said, with great wrestling I have wrestled with my sister. And basically Rachel and Leah has like a sibling rivalry. They were always trying to outdo each other. And she said she was wrestling with her sister, basically like I said, like a sibling rivalry. She was like struggling hard with her sister. And I have prevailed. And she said she prevailed, she won. She finally overcome her sister. And she called his name Naphtali. And she called the name of that son Naphtali. Ah, damn, well, let's go to fast. And she called his name Naphtali. Oh, verse 9. And verse 9, when Leah saw that she had left bearing. So basically 9 said, when Leah saw that she had left bearing, and this time Leah realized she was bearing. So basically she wasn't able to have kids anymore. And she took Zilpah her maid, so she took her maid Zilpah, and gave her Jacob to wife, and she gave her to give to Jacob, so she can become Jacob's wife. So she did the exact same thing Rachel was doing. In the beginning, she was having kids, and now she loses the ability to have kids. So she ended up taking her her maid, and so her maid can have sons for her. So they basically like in a competition against one another to see who can make more kids for Jacob. And where was I? And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son, and Zilpah, Leah's servant, ending up giving Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. So the son name was basically Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob the second son, and the maid Zilpah, Leah's servant Zilpah, ending up giving Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy I am, for the daughters will call me blessed. So basically Leah was very joyful. She was very happy, man. And she said like when she said the other daughters, basically the other women's basically they will call her blessed, because she was very fruitful. And she calls his name Asher, and she called the son named Asher. Verse 14 said, and Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field. And basically one day during the wheat harvest, Reuben went into the field, and he found mandrakes. And I did like, let me find out what the mandrakes are. Let me see. I looked at it up earlier. It's like give me 1 second. Mandrakes. So mandrakes are a plant genus in the nightshade family, known for their large, often forked roots that can resemble a human body, and have a history of being associated with magic, medicine, and folklore, particularly in the Mediterranean region. And that's what mandrake look like. And when I was reading earlier, it also says, give me 1 second. In the Bible, mandrakes or dudan in Hebrew are associated with fertility and are mentioned in Genesis 30 verse 14 to 16 and Song of Solomon 7 verse 13, where they are believed to be aphrodisiacs or fertility aid. And they also call it the love or love plants, I should say. And I'm gonna go back to the scripture again, which was 14. So, and Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field. So one day during the wheat harvest, so Reuben found some mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah. So he brought those mandrakes to his mom Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, "Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes." And so Rachel begged Leah. It says, "Please give me your son's mandrakes." And she said unto her, "Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband?" And Leah said, so basically Leah was saying like, "Isn't it enough that you take my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrake also? Are you also going to take my son's mandrakes?" And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. So basically, Leah make like a deal with, Rachel make a deal with Leah, and she said, Jacob will lie with you tonight. So if you give me some of your son's mandrakes. And verse 16 says, and Jacob came out of the field in the evening. So in the evening, Jacob came out of the field, which means he have like a long, laborious day, man. So which means like he was very exhausted, or most likely hungry also. And Leah went out to meet him. So basically, Leah went out to meet him, and said, "Thou must come in unto me." So basically, Leah said, "You have to lay down with me." And said, "Thou must come down and lay unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrake." So Leah said, "You have to lay down with me, because I was where was I again? For surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrake." So she said, she said like she paid with her son's mandrake. So like I said earlier, she struck a deal with Rachel. So because of that deal, that's why he was able to lay down with Jacob. And he lay with her that night. So basically, Jacob slept with her that night. And the Most High hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. So basically, the Most High listened to Leah's voice, and he finally opened a womb and gave her like a fifth son. And Leah said, "The Most High have given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband," and she called his name Issachar. And Leah said the Most High giving her hire, which was like basically the Most High rewarded her, and giving my maiden to my husband, because she gave her servant, which was I forgot what was it. Her servant was Zilpah, I believe, or Bill. Give me 1 second. Zilpah, her servant Zilpah. She has given her servant Zilpah to Jacob as a wife, and she called his name Issachar, and she ending up calling the son name Issachar. And 19, and Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. So basically, Leah ending up getting pregnant again, and she bore Jacob another son again. And Leah said, the Most High have endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me. And so she was very happy, man. She said the Most High has rewarded her. And she said, "Now my husband will dwell with me." And she was like, her husband will dwell with her, which means like he will treat her with respect, because she has been very fruitful. Because I have borne him 6 sons, because basically she has given him 6 sons. 6 sons, because back then it was like a very rewarding it was like a very honorable for a woman to be able to be fruitful and give her husband kids, especially a son. It's not like today in this modern day, because in the ancient world, even as I'm speaking right now, in the Middle East, or women normally married flower age, which is around as soon as they get their period. And those days, like that's how it was in the ancient world. So it was when women hit the flower age, it was set up to marriage and marry like a man and have kids. It was not like it's not like right now. He got a woman is like on 20s, still has no kids, mid 20s, late 20s, still have no kids. It was like a very shameful. They would think like something is wrong with you, and those ancient world days are coming back again, man. So when Leah gave when a woman was barren back then, it was like very shameful. So Leah was very happy because she was like, yeah, I give my husband 6 kids. And she called his name Zebulun, and she ended up calling the 6th son name Zebulun. In verse 21, and afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. And after a while she ended up having a daughter, and she named him Dinah. And the Most High, we remember Rachel, and the Most High here hearkened to her and opened her womb. And finally the Most High listened to Rachel, because she was very like early in the chapter, she was like very envious of her sister because she was able to have kids. So so that basically hurting her because she was barren, and the Most High finally listened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son. So basically she ending up getting pregnant and bare a son, and said, the Most High have taken away my reproach. And she said, basically she said like, finally the Most High has removed my shame, because it was shameful for a woman to have no kids. And she called his name Joseph, and she called the name of that son Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And she said basically the Most High added another son to her. And verse 25 is basically talks about like Jacob prospers. That's Jacob working under Laban. So 25 to 43, that's what it's going to talk about. And verse 25, where was I? Verse 25 say, and it came to pass when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, sent me away. So basically after basically Rachel gave birth to Joseph, and Jacob said Jacob said to Laban to send him away. So because he doesn't want to work for Laban anymore, because he has not 6 sons, 12 sons in total. So he wanted to be by himself now. He wanted to run his own house. He doesn't want to work for Laban's anymore. It's like when you live with your dad. Your dad been taking care of you for all your life, and now you have a wife and you start having kids. You don't want to live with your dad anymore, having your dad telling you what to do. You want to have your own house. So that's basically where Jacob was right now. That was Jacob's mindset at this very moment. And he said, sent me away that I may go unto my own place. So he told Laban to send him away so he can be like in his own place, his own territory, and to my country, and basically to go home to his country. Give me my wives and my children. And he asked Laban to give him his wife and to give him his wives and his children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. So Jacob was telling him, so Laban has to give him his wife and his kids because he has earned them. How did he earn them? He earned them because he was laboring for Laban for a total of 14 years, because 7 for the first wife and another 7 for the second wife. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Jacob was saying, you have to let me go because you saw how hard I was working for you. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. And Laban was begging him. He was like, please listen, man. Um, if I have found favor in thine eyes, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for thy sake. And Laban was saying, man, please, man, please. And Laban was saying, like, basically what Laban was saying, like, ever since you come into my, everything you saw working for me, I've been blessed. So basically, Laban was saying, because of Jacob, the Most High has blessing him. Because of Jacob's sake, man. And 28 said, and he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And basically, he was saying, like, tell me what you want, and I'll give it to you. He was kind of like bargain. Whatever you want, name me your price, and I'll give it to you. 29. He said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee. And Jacob wasn't having it. It was like, look, man, you know how hard I work for you, man. And Jacob was not lying, because what Jacob was doing, it's not like a modern day where you using special equipment, like you know, when you're watching, I don't know the name of farming equipment. When I'm watching the modern day farmers, they're using like high-tech equipment, like you know, back then they used to use a horse to push to push the products, whatever they're working on. Or they use like I don't know the name of the equipment, or the way they use sickles to do the harvest. Now, even in modern days, with all those equipments, farmers still work very hard. But except back then, they work 3 times or 7 times harder. So Jacob was like, look, man, I was working hard for you, man. You have to let me go. What was I? Thou I serve thee. And yeah, in 29 he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. And Jacob was saying, look, you know exactly how hard I work for you, man. And all your and he was like, I serve, and how thy cattle was with me. So basically Jacob was saying, like, ever since I've been working hard for you, man, your cattle has like increased. Because he was taking good care of them. And verse 30 said, for it was little which thou hast before I came. Jacob said, before I came here, it was everything you have was little. You didn't really have nothing. It's like a businessman. Before Jacob came, the business was nothing. It was like a low. He wasn't making money. He wasn't as prosperous. And it is now increased unto multitudes. So now, ever since Jacob has been working for Laban, his business like blew up. So Laban became prosperous. He became wealthy. What was I? It is now increased into a multitude. Yeah, and the Lord have blessed thee since my coming. So the Heavenly Father has blessed Laban ever since Jacob came into his realm. Against his everything, ever since Jacob was walking in Laban's life, walking Laban's life, yeah. And now when shall I provide for my own households and my own house also? And Jacob was like, so now when can I start providing for my own family? When can I start providing for my own family, for my own house? That's what Jacob was telling Laban. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Laban once again asked him, look, man, how much can I give you? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. And Jacob said, look, man, I don't want anything, man. I just want to be out with my family and start my own life. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flocks. And Jacob was like, don't do anything for me, man. If you want to do anything, if you just do just this thing for me, I will continue to tend and watch over your flocks. And verse 32 said, I will pass through all thy flocks today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So Jacob said, look, I'm gonna inspect all your cattle, all your animals, whichever one have like speckles or like any defect, those will be my wages. Those will be my price. And verse 33 said, "So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come." So basically, time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. So Jacob said, in the future, whenever you go check on the animals, so basically Jacob was saying basically when you go check to see all those animals that you're giving me, and you're gonna see, I was very honest with you, because like the previous verse said, like all those, Jacob said, all those speckles, all the kind of like defect animals will be mine. So when you go check in the future and you see I have all those speckles and you have all the one that's like full and healthy, you know I was very honest with you. What was that? And every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen within me. And if you go, basically Jacob will say, look, if you go to my flocks and you see anything that's not speckled, anything that have no speckle or spots on the sheep or goat or cattle, and if you find them on my flocks, I mean I was stealing from you. In verse 34, and Laban said, "Behold, I would it might be according to thy word." And Laban was like, you know what? All right, I'll do as you said. And 35 said, and he removed that day the he goats that were rank streak and spot, and all the she goats that were speckled and spot, and everyone that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. So basically, that's that same day, Laban ending up went out and removed all the male goats and female goat that have like that were streaked and that have streaked and spot on them, and all the she goat that were speckles and spot, and everyone that had some white. Basically, all those that have those white patches, and all the black sheep, and the brown, some white in there, and all the brown among the sheep. And he placed them, he gave them unto the hand of his sons. So basically, he placed them under the care of his own sons. And verse 36 said, and he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob's, and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. So basically, it took them like a 3 days journey from where Jacob's was. 3 days journey. I think when I did the research, it was around, let me see how long is 3 days journey. Because back then everybody have to do stuff like this on foot. They have to 3 days journey. Let me type 3 days journey in miles. 3 days journey in miles would be a 3-day journey could cover anywhere from roughly 60 to 100 miles or more, depending on the mode of transport and terrain. So we can make an assessment that they were not driving a car or a trailer. They were doing it on foot. So 100 miles on foot. Let me see, 60 miles on foot. Let me see, 60 miles on foot. I mean, not 60 miles on foot. I mean 60 miles. How far is 60 miles? How far is 60 miles? Far. Give me 1 second. Okay, so 2, maybe that one. 2. Okay, so it will be close to, I don't want to say, I mean, if you live in Massachusetts, Boston to Rhode Island, that's like 44 miles. If you put that to New York, New York is 240 miles. So it will be like, if you're driving on a car, it could take you anywhere from 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Depends on what kind of terrain it is. So that's the kind of like the distance. And verse 36 says, and he said 3 days journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of the flocks, Laban's flocks. So it took them like 3 days to 3 days journey between from where they were from it took them like a 3 days journey from where Jacob was. So basically Jacob's fed the rest of Laban. So basically Jacob stayed and fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And verse 37 said, and Jacob took him rods of green poplar. So he took like a branch, like probably like cut it from a tree, and a rod of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white streaks in them. So basically, like he took like a rod from the tree, from the hazel and chestnut tree, and he peeled them, he stripped them off, and he put like a white streaks on them. 38, and he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in a gutter, in the watering trough, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. So basically, he placed those peeled branches in the watering trough, where the flocks came to drink water. For the, so basically, because that was the area they were mating. Verse 39, and the flocks conceived before the rods. So basically, they were mating in front of those white streaked branches, and brought forth cattle ring streaked, speckled, and spotted. So when they were mating in front of those white streaked branches, they gave birth to offsprings that have those speckles and spots on them. And verse 40 said, and Jacob did separate the lambs and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring streaks. So Jacob's like make like a separation between the lambs, and he put them in the lambs in front of the ring streaks, and all the brown in the flocks of Laban, and he put his own flocks by himself. So he put like all Laban's animal which were streaks or black. So he kind of separated his flocks and Laban's flocks. He put his own flocks by themselves. So he put all his flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. He didn't put them within Laban's cattle. He put his own flock by themselves and put them into not into Laban's cattle. So he was basically tricking Laban. But that's one way he started increasing his cattle. He was increasing his and verse 41, and it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutter, that they might conceive among the rods. So basically, whatever he noticed like a strong cattle, so he put them in front of the he put them on those peeled branches, so they can get those streaky speckles, and that they may conceive among the rods. So that they will mate in front. They will basically mate in front of those branches, I should said. And verse 42 said, but when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in it. So basically, when the cattle they were weaker, so he didn't put them next to those branches. So he let them conceive like by themselves, so they didn't have those streaks on them and spot on them. What was that? So the feebler were Laban's and the stronger is Jacob. So he ended up in that situation he ended up having all those stronger cattle or stronger flocks, and Laban ending up getting the weaker ones, I should say. So basically, he tricks Laban In the early, Laban trick him by giving him the older and not the younger one. So now in the end of the story, he tricked Laban. And the man increased exceedingly. So Jacob became very, very wealthy. Because back then, having wealth means like you have substance, which is like animals, land. You got servant working under you. It's not like nowadays that people think like a wealth is when somebody have like an athletes have like a big mansions and they have a bunch of money they flipping in front of them. You know, they always have like the typical table laying in front of them full of money, or they have like 6, 7 luxurious cars, or having like a big pool. That's not wealth. Wealth is somebody that's on multiple lands, got people work for them. You have animals. You got basically everything that you needed. That's what true wealth is. You have servants working for you. So basically, like us right now in this wicked ass kingdom, we are basically working for Esau. We all Esau's servant, whether we like it or not. So basically, Esau's above us right now. So he's living lavishly. So Esau on multiple properties. He has one business over there. Who's working for them? Everybody's working for him. Even his own people is a slave under him. That's how wicked Esau is. I'm gonna do a lesson about the wealth, how it works in the future. And verse 43 said, and the man increased exceedingly. So basically, Jacob becomes like a powerhouse. He became like a wealthy man. I mean, at this point, he's starting to rival even Laban. And had much cattle. He has like a large amount of cattle, flocks. He has large flocks of, and maid servant. He also have like a bunch of servants. And men servant, he have a women servant and male servant. And camels and asses. He has like camels and asses, which is donkeys. So basically, he has everything you can think of at that time. And when we're in the kingdom, we're gonna go back in those kind of states, man. We're gonna have everything that we need. And that was it for the chapter, man. I put that was an edifying lesson to the flocks, and whoever the Most High want to read this message, let it be heard. And if I add or take away from the scripture, I pray that the Most High forgive me. And with that, I like to say, Shalom.